Wow, a very interesting game. Coach, let me start off with you on this one. Who dropped the ball? Is that Mauricio Pochettino because his team was 2 goals up at a point? Some way he led the opponents back in, or you think that Arteta and Arsenal just had a stronger will to get something out of this game?
I think I will not blame Pochettino for what happened. I rather blame the Chelsea players themselves. There are times where, as players, you need to take up the responsibility. You need to be responsible, because at that time, Arsenal hadn't had a shot on target.
Yeah.
Look, we all didn't see this coming. We were doing the game we did the game on radio, and I did say that I'm expecting Arsenal to go to the bridge and treat Chelsea the way Chelsea had treated them some years ago, because they were the team in form, the proper team ready to go toe-to-toe with the best team in the land, Manchester City. If you can beat Man City, you should be having enough belief that you can go to the bridge and get a result. But Arsenal started the game very, very poorly. And credit must be given to Pochettino and his boys. When I saw the Chelsea shape, I was worried because there wasn't a proper number 9. But the moment the game started, after the first 5-10 minutes, I said, ooh, I think he's gotten it right, because he's made sure that Arsenal will not play the ball through the middle to Odegaard. Because it is when Odegaard is picking the ball high up the pitch, that is where, as a team, they will begin to create all the chances there. And
in fact, so, just like you mentioned, yesterday he was virtually anonymous in the game.
He was very anonymous. Arsenal as a team found it very difficult passing the ball to him. And that, in my view, had to do with the false 9 and the 3 midfielders. Enzo, Caicedo, and then what? Gallagher. Gallagher, through Beto, I think he's beginning to establish himself as one of the key players in that Chelsea setup. So, the game, tactically, Pochettino got it right. Every Chelsea player was ready yesterday. We spoke about the impact of Saka and Martinelli. But yesterday was the game where you say, until Cucurella got booked, he had dealt with Saka.
Yeah, he had Saka in stitches.
But the moment he got himself booked, he couldn't get closer to Saka again. Then Saka started getting the better part of him and started influencing the play better. Now, as a manager, you cannot blame Mikel Arteta for the second goal that Chelsea scored. And every goalkeeper who is watching, you see, when the ball is coming from the flanks, as a goalkeeper, you don't go forward. You rather stay in the middle, or you come back. If the player decides to go to the first pole, you can see the trajectory of the ball and move forward and punch the ball. But if you are to backpedal, it is a very difficult technique to execute to get it. But there, you are back.
You don't even know where you are going.
You don't even know where you are going. And the starting position of Raya for that Chelsea second goal was absolutely unacceptable. So he paid the price, duly so. Now, Chelsea cruising to a very famous victory. Look, I can imagine the feelings of every Chelsea supporter when it was 2-0 up to the 74th, 75th minute. We were doing the game and I said, look, I don't see Arsenal coming up, because they were not creating anything. Chelsea had compacted, condensed Stamford Bridge like they would normally do when they are in the league, and blocked every space in between or in behind their back four. Under no pressure. Then the goalkeeper decided to give the ball away. Credit Declan Rice. That was an absolutely brilliant finish. Very difficult technique. You may think that the goalkeeper was not in goal, but if you look at where he struck the ball and the killer, the technique.
I think Declan Rice has a thing for scoring goals. Might be occasional, but he has a thing for scoring
goals. And so the moment Arsenal redeemed the goal back, they felt that they could rescue it. Then Arteta brought on and then Pochettino, in my view, tactically, he responded. He effected the change that was meant to see the game to the end, with Chelsea winning 2-1. The problem is that at this level, you don't switch off. When you switch off, you pay the price. And that was exactly what my good friend did,
Malo
Gusto. You see, when the ball is coming from the opposite flank, as a fullback, naturally, when the defenders suck in, you are to follow suit, or else there'll be a huge gap in there. But if you look at that replay again, Thiago Silva, oh my goodness, look, that guy, he's one of the best I have seen. I have had the chance to see top defenders, like the likes of Cannavaro, the likes of Rio Ferdinand,
Nesta.
John Terry, Alexandro Nesta, and Co. Ricardo Carvalho. These are defenders that we enjoy. Even Sergio Ramos in his heydays, very, very brilliant. Puyol and Co. Thiago Silva, I think, look, if we are to rank, I think he'll be in the first three. Best three I have seen. He is that good. Even at 39 years, his reading of the game is excellent. His anticipation, he may not be the pacey type of defender, but because he reads the game so well, he tends to deal with every situation. Now, if you go back to that Arsenal second goal, I don't know what Malo Gustav was looking at, because Thiago Silva had Nketiah inside. Normally, if Thiago Silva or if Nketiah was on the blind side of Thiago Silva, that is where you now begin to look at the fullback to come in as the last man and then forget about whoever is behind him. But here was the situation where Eddie Nketiah was within sight of Thiago. Thiago could see him and he had him checked.
He nearly scored off that incident.
Exactly. But what Malo Gustav could have done was to look, and I was asking myself, maybe Trossard had just been introduced. So he was used to Martinelli, who on the in-swinger like that will not be targeting the last ball, but will be coming in. So he thought it was still Martinelli, but not knowing. Trossard had located the blind side of him. And look, that Trossard goal was a very difficult finish. He didn't use his left. Technically, he should have gone with his left foot. But rather, he used the right foot and the outside of the foot to just more or less
I'm still at a loss as to why he doesn't get as much playing time. I think he's done enough to command a starting place in that Arsenal team. I know it's difficult.
Look, I
trying to position or shift Martinelli around.
No,
but,
I think he's not in the direct competition with Martinelli. I think that he should be playing as a number 10. But because Odegaard is the captain and he's that good, that is why he's struggling to get into the team. But Mikel Arteta, there were so many games where he should reshuffle and then get him a bit more.
Let's talk about starting Jorginho in this game, because look, I felt like that took a lot out of Arsenal's midfield. They were basically swarmed by Chelsea in that first half. They could barely play the ball out. When Rice got the ball, you could tell that he's not a Thomas Partey. He couldn't dictate tempo. He was always in a hurry to get rid of the ball. Has Jorginho had the impact that Arteta thought he could have when he was bringing him?
Well, last season he did. I felt that last season when he came in, he played really well. He controlled a lot of games. His passing was good. He came up with a winner, you could say, against Aston Villa as well. It was eventually adjudged an own goal. But he was very impressive. Even displaced Thomas Partey at a point in the team. So he did his job. This season, he's struggled for game time, and I think that might have affected him. Of course, you need to build yourself into games, have a lot of matches, build chemistry with your teammates, and I don't think he's done that. For this game, starting him in that midfield, I think it was a very bad decision. I felt that even from the start, without knowing which team Chelsea were putting out, you knew that there were going to be a lot of players behind the ball. And you need players who would pass it quickly and not allow the opposition players to get into their positions. Jorginho is not that kind of player. He tends to hold on to the ball, allows the opposition, everyone to get into their spots, and then he makes the pass.
Jorginho is so slow.
He makes a square pass.
That's right.
And even in this game, the square passes were not landing. There were moments where he was just kicking it out of play. It wasn't the typical Jorginho, and I like Jorginho, but this wasn't the game for him. It wasn't a good performance from him either. But quick note on Chelsea as well. At 74 minutes, Chelsea were comfortable, and the Arsenal players were out of it because they weren't even chasing after the ball when Chelsea were passing it around. They were just waiting in the center line. And Sanchez, for some reason, decided to make a lazy pass with his weaker foot to nobody in particular. There was no need for that. And once that goal went in, of course, Chelsea were going to get nervous. The players were going to second guess themselves. Oh, should I move forward? Are we going to get a third goal? Or should I keep the ball? Should I stay in my position? Then they started to draw back. I've always maintained that Raheem Sterling is Chelsea's X factor. And in this game, when he started playing on the left-hand side, it prevented Ben White from joining the attack quite a bit, which meant Bukayo Saka did not have a player to run off of, a player who would take some attention away. And he had a lot of difficulty getting past Kukurea. The moment Raheem Sterling got tired, first of all, he got tired, so he couldn't run back as much. And then the moment he did that, Ben White started pushing forward a little bit, allowing Saka to get onto the ball a lot more, coupled with Kukurea's yellow card, of course. The moment Sterling was taking off, you could see for that second goal, Ben White bombing forward, giving Saka another option, which took one of Kukurea's attention, allowing Saka to move onto his left foot and put that ball into the box. It was a lot of issues, but of course, coach has spoken a lot about it. The players lost concentration, and you don't do that. You are top-level players playing for a top-level club. You are 2-0 up. You don't give the game away, even if the first goal went in. At least keep your shape for the next few minutes, and then allow your players to just settle back again. They didn't consider the second, almost considered the
Not enough veterans on the pitch.
Let me just point this out. I nearly forgot. What was Nicholas Jackson doing?
Nicholas Jackson.
I wish we could have seen that chance again, but I don't think we had that sequence.
At the time, it was 2-0.
Yeah. He had a chance to either lob the goalkeeper or round the goalkeeper.
I was as if he was confused.
No, I think that's what he was. He was actually caught in two minds. He didn't know whether to lob the goalkeeper or to round the goalkeeper.
The goalkeeper was up. Just shoot.
And then he got in front of the goal. Then he decided he was taking the ball even away. I said, look at this man.
I actually could not believe what I was watching.
Mourinho in his heydays would have substituted. I would have changed him again.
You know who finishes that chance for Chelsea back in the day?
Ramirez,
the defensive midfielder.
He blasts the ball into the back of even Lampard.
That guy was finishing some really sumptuous chances.
I couldn't believe that. Nicholas Jackson, top striker.
No, you cannot refer to him as a top striker.
No, but within the Chelsea setup,
if he is missing chances like this,
within the Chelsea setup, he's the player you want that chance to.
That was a really disappointing finish.
I was shocked. I couldn't believe what I saw.
Well, let's